name is Nonima Tikela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So I want us to talk about Unxumalo and his submissions this morning because, wow, he was just great. Okay. So what made Advocate Zitulele Nxumalo stand out today was not volume or theatrics. It was the structure of his submissions. It was the way he conducted himself also. Mosi Nxumalo is always respectful, always down to earth, njalo nje party. He will poison you with the black mamba poison. Okay, he will do that to you. Now, he appeared to be trying to pull the court back to a very uncomfortable question for the state. Where is the reliable procedural foundation for the evidence? That has quietly become one of the most dangerous themes in the entire Senzo Meyiwa trial. From today's proceedings, Nxumalo's submissions seem to revolve around three major points. One, the integrity of police processes. Two, the credibility of the documentary trial. Three, and whether the state is asking the court to fill gaps through assumption instead of proof. The important thing is that Nxumalo was not arguing the case emotionally. He was attacking the architecture of the evidence. The cell phone issue remains central. Over the last few days, witnesses and police officials have been questioned about SEPS registers, occurrence book, etc. Now, and also exhibit handling, SEP 14 detention records, and the alleged recovery chain of cell phone evidence. Uyabona, that one is one of the most important things that they dealt with in defense decisively. I'm happy with that. So Nxumalo's submissions today appear to have been aimed at demonstrating that the state's version keeps colliding or colluding with missing or incomplete administrative records. That matters legally because criminal trials are not supposed to operate on it only happened. The state must show we found the item, where it was recorded, who booked it in, who transferred it, and whether the chain is independently verifiable. And now right here, when we see all of these things, we are noticing that none of that is happening correctly. Now, Nxumalo's strategy appeared to be if the paperwork's foundation is unstable, then the evidential conclusion built on top of it became unstable too. And honestly, this is where his submission became more sophisticated than many people realize because that man is very sophisticated. A lot of public discussion focuses on dramatic moments, and we love that, of course. Objections, arguments, confrontations, but Nxumalo is working in a quieter space, procedural contamination. That's what he was dealing with. That is much harder for the prosecution to neutralize because procedure is supposed to protect the integrity of the case itself. And imagine now having a case that is not built properly, having a case that needs people to be here the entire time, fighting, etc. Now, if the OB is missing, if the SEP 13 entries are disputed, if officers cannot clearly identify who handled exhibits or records appear later or incomplete, then the defense can argue that the court is being asked to trust a narrative without an auditable chain behind it. Now, Usibanda get thinking that he is smart, uzifaka engxakini when it comes to these guys because they have experience that he does not have. That's the other thing that someone needs to tell him. You are dealing with experienced public servants and court officers. You are not dealing with people in jail, abantu kazana. No, these people are experienced people. They've been in courtrooms before. And the other three, Mshololo, Nxumalo, and Nisi, they've been where you are sitting before. Someone needs to remind him all of that because seemingly he doesn't understand that. And funny enough, lo asebenza naye ubig boss wakhe uprosecutor Baloyi knows all of that about them. I don't understand why esenza bunch. Now, this is potentially devastating in a murder trial, the entire situation that is happening, especially where there is a family that is awaiting to hear where is this going? And also, especially if the family does not even trust the process that is being done. They don't trust it because they know what they know. Do you understand? Now, another thing Nxumalo seemed to do effectively today was narrowing the witness role. He was repeatedly he has repeatedly pushed the witness back into their actual procedural lane instead of allowing broader speculative conclusions. That sounds simple, right? But in a major defense technique, for example, a station commander can testify about procedure, but not necessarily authenticate a disputed factual event he never personally witnessed. And a records custodian can explain registers, but cannot magically cure missing entries. An investigator can describe what he received, but if the original intake process is unclear, the downstream evidence inherits that weakness. Okay, so Unqumalo tried to show all of these things, and because we are dealing with uJadrata here, as though you can't exactly show them. Now, Nxumalo appeared to be exploiting exactly that distinction. And this is where the defense's broader theory is becoming visible. The problem is not just one missing record. The defense is trying to show a pattern. Disputed statements, disputed confessions, disputed cell phone recovery, disputed record keeping, disputed interpreter issues, disputed procedural compliance. Individually, each issue can maybe be explained away. Collectively, the defense wants the court to see the problems of the system problems and the system unreliability. That is the real battlefield game. And another critical layer today was the implied challenge to the court itself, not openly. Nxumalo is usually measured, but beneath the legal language, there is a growing tension in this trial. How much procedural imperfection is the court willing to tolerate before it becomes unfair prejudice? Now, that question is hanging over almost every defense submission lately, because once the court starts accepting missing records, reconstructed explanations, unclear custody chains, or evidence without contemporaneous documentation, the defense position becomes the court is no longer evaluating evidence strictly. It is helping repair the state case. And that is exactly what is happening. That is exactly what is happening. That is why the objective have intensified this week altogether. And strategically, Nxumalo's role is slightly different from some of the other defense counsel. Advocate Charles Mnisi often attacks admissibility aggressively. Advocate Mshololo often focuses on procedural fairness and constitutional implications. Advocate Ramsipule has recently become highly effective in live procedural confrontations and exposing inconsistencies in real time. Nxumalo, on the other hand, especially today, seemed more focused on evidential logic. If the system worked correctly, where is the reliable record? That is a very dangerous question in a case already carrying years of controversy, because courts can survive conflicting witness memories. They struggle more when institutional records themselves become uncertain. The deeper implication of today's submission is this. The defense is slowly trying to shift the public perception of the trial away from did something happen to what can the state prove how it knows what happened. That distinction is everything in criminal law. And the more the defense succeeds in moving the trial into the second category, the more pressure falls on the prosecution to produce a tight procedural continuity, not just suspicion, not just narrative coherency, but documented reliability. That is why today mattered a lot. It was less explosive on the surface than some courtroom clashes this week. But legally, Nxumalo was attacking the foundation beams of the evidential structure itself. And Nxumalo was not allowing uJadrata to shush him down. He was willing to take it all the way up until he was like, you know what, it's not worth it. And I'm glad Uguti he did all of that, because eventually, guys, we ended up having a win on our side. And proudly so, the defense has successfully managed to do what they wanted to do, even though uJadrata he bended the procedure for the state. He tried everything he could to repair the struggling case of the state, but he still did not win. He will force whatever he wants to force. However, the circumstances are also looking at him like nobody's business. And Lady Justice is there saying, you may try. The bottom line is, you are not going to win. with your nonsense. So uSibanda wasted his time today. Oh, he wasted his time. But I'm glad ukuthi uNxumalo stood on its, made the state to stand on its toes. And I'm glad uNxumalo was able to force the state into a corner. And I'm glad ukuthi the defense entirely was able to make sure they make uSibanda sweat, not just a little, but a lot. And the way they handled him, it made him lose naye a train of thoughts, because now bebembanguza pha bengazazi babenzani bengonombakusi. And I loved that. I enjoyed all of that, guys. I don't know about you, but me as Noni Madikela, I feel like today was just progressive. Today was just brilliant. And I'm happy it happened, because there's a lot of things that were exposed. There's a lot of things that were exposed today in that courtroom of Judge Ratta, but I'm going to do other videos to show you, Uguti. There is a lot that happens behind the scenes that we do not see, because Judge Ratta exposed himself. Oh, he exposed himself today a lot. I don't care who says what. He did expose himself. What are your thoughts when it comes to all of this? Let's talk in the comment section. I'll see you on our next video. Bye-bye.